This is the first part of a series of short tutorials on how to use EquatIO and Mathspaces with your students. The first thing you would need to do is add the app into your Classlink, My Apps page. To do this, you go to the upper left-hand corner and click Open App Library. You go to Staff All, and then you will look for EquatIO Mathspaces and add. From there, you can click on the Mathspace, and you may need to sign in with Google the first time, and it will ask you for the correct account, and there are your Mathspaces. After adding EquatIO Mathspaces to your Classlink My Apps page and logging in using Google, you are now ready to create your first space. To create your first space, hit plus new space, and then you can give it a title. So for my example, I'm going to use Big Ideas Math Algebra 1, Lesson 1.1. So I'm going to go to my math space. So I'm going to say Algebra 1, Lesson 1.1. You are now ready to begin adding content to your math space. For this example, I'd like to show you how you can use existing resources to add content and create a set of notes with an exit ticket for your students. So again, I'm going to be using the Big Ideas Math Algebra 1, and what I wanted to do is take this first example and talk it through with the kids. So I took a screenshot of that, and I'm now going to show you how you add the screenshot. So you go to the Import Files, and then you can click right here, and here's the image I did, and open and upload that, and then you can now manipulate this and put it in the middle of your page. Okay, so that's the example that I would work through with kids. I would then add another frame or page, and now I'm going to show you how easily you can use the screenshot reader to add materials. On the second page of this math space, we're going to add an equation using the screenshot reader. So to add the equation using the screenshot reader, you have to go to the extension, and from there you can move the toolbar and then go to the screenshot reader. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to go right here, and we will grab this equation. I'm going to stop because it will read it to me, and I'm going to copy the ALTEX. And then I'm going to go to the math space right here in the second page, and I'm going to go to the ALTEX and paste that in. And then I'm going to insert the math, and there we go. There's the formula, and there's the formula that I would work through with the students as an example. Next, we'll add another one as the exit ticket. Now I'm going to add a third page and use this as the exit ticket for the students. So the first thing I can do is close that. Then I can add a new page. Again, I'm going to go back to my Big Ideas, so my resource online. I'm going to go to the EquatIO. I'm going to go to the screenshot reader, and I'm just going to choose number 7 for the exit ticket. So I'm going to surround that. I'm going to pause that, and I'm going to again copy the LATEX and go there. Go back to my math space, get this, click here. I'm going to first delete that one, and then copy and paste right there, and then insert the math. And this will be the problem that the students have to solve as the exit ticket. After creating the math space, I would pull it up on my interactive panel or on my projector and touchscreen Chromebook. I would go through the math talk on how this was solved. I'd then go to the second one where this is where the students and I would work through the problem together. And obviously complete your math talk. And now we're ready. And then I would explain to them that I'm going to share this with them in just a second. And I would say solve the equation and submit. And then what I need to do is share this with the student. To share the Mathspace with the exit ticket with the students, I would now go to the upper right-hand corner and click the share button. Since it's an exit ticket, I would make a copy for each person and expect a response, and then click continue. And then I'm going to copy this to my clipboard. I'm going to go to my template, and I'm going to select my link and link it and paste that there and hit apply. And now, since this is published to Canvas, it will appear in the student's homepage template. This is the use of the Mathspace as an exit ticket from the student perspective. So I have an example course with an example student. So the student would open this. They would go to their template. They would go to the day, and then they would click on this link that you just prepared for them. This should take them to the Mathspace, which may take just a little bit of time. But the beauty about this is now they have a scaffold right there for them to work through and then to solve the problem. So here's the third page, so they can hit the free draw, and now they can use their whole Chromebook screen as the solution, and they can finish that. And when they're done, they go to the upper right-hand corner, and it looks like the paper airplane, and then they submit, and then it is ready for you to give feedback. So now you can go to your Mathspaces dashboard, and since you asked them to send something back to you, the assignment will now be found in Assignments. So sit tight. You see right here is the share link, and right there are the fact that you have 2 responses. So we'll just click on that right there. And now you have the different students. So now you are able to see that they've responded and can give them feedback. So you just click on the first one here. And then you can go to here, and you could add feedback right here. Hopefully this works better. Great job. You could give them a score if you want. You can enter some other types of feedback. This is a new feature that they just added. So instead of having to go to the next thing, it automatically takes you to the next student. So then you could go here and you could say, oh, try again, or something like that. And give them a hint. You added instead of subtracting, or something like that. I hope I did that right. Send them the feedback, and then you're good to go. So now we're back on the student page where they receive some feedback. So now that they've submitted, they have to go to submitted assignments right there. And then they can pop in on that one. And they'll know they've been given some feedback, so they could go on the screen and they could see, oh yeah, screwed up. Okay, so instead of subtracting 12, I added 12. So then to fix it, they can go back right here and go to the feedback view, and then they can choose the select tool or freehand tool, add that. They can select and go here and select those and delete them, and then go back to the freehand and go -5, and then they can submit that back to the teacher. And the process would go just back and forth until you feel everything is up to standard. Finally, I just wanted to go over some of the other tools with you. So if you click on the menu bar and go to Options, you could go to Math Options, and then you could have prediction. So when you're using the equation editor, it will predict what you're doing and give you the ability to insert things quickly. You could do the toolbar menu. So if you don't do a lot of graphing, you could do that. If you don't feel you need speech or handwriting, you could toggle them on and off. Your space options, you could either have it as squared paper or blank, and then you could change the name of the screen. So those are some of the tools. Then if you go down here, here's your toolbar. So the first is the equation editor, where you can just start typing things. So I was a former chemistry teacher, so I'm just going to start typing here, hydrogen, and then it shows you the prediction. You can just clip that in there, plus oxygen. Then you can just complete that, and then you can insert the math. This is for when you're using that screenshot reader. You can import those equations right here, and then they will come up as math. You do have the ability to enter a Desmos math or graph into your Mathspace. You can do handwriting recognition. You could expand this and then just put 5 plus 5, and it predicts that. But you could also just use the freehand writer. So you can insert the math and then it pops in right there. You can do speech input, so you start doing that. 5 plus 5 equals 10. Oh, I didn't clear that first, so we'll stop right there. Pause, sorry. And we'll start all over. We're going to take that out and go right here. 5 plus 5 equals 10. And then you can replace the math, and then it goes into the the Mathspace. Kind of neat. EquatIO Mobile, if you would want to, you could hook it up and get a QR code. And what this allows you to do is you could have the Mathspace up on your projector or your interactive panel, and then you could do the work with the students from anywhere in the room. It's kind of cool. I've played with it. Don't know how well it works at all times. This is your select tool, so then you can select there. Freehand writing tool, so you can do that. Now these shapes, you could add all kinds of different shapes, make unique things. Like one time I did a speed formula and I found a little car to help make a visual. So just insert the car right there, and then you can do an individual. They do have some smart shapes, so you can add a protractor to have the students do some things. And then if you have the students solve problems, they can bring up the STEM tools. Like here's a periodic table that they can use to help them solve a problem. There's a calculator that they can use to solve problems. And finally, what's really cool is a graphic or a model for molecules. So let's say we want water, and then we just search that up, and there you go. You have that model, and you can do ball stick, line, cross, all kinds of different ones. Ooh, cartoon, what's that? Not available for that structure. But anyway, so you could have all of those different tools there as well. So using this is getting better all the time. It's becoming more intuitive, and I would love to work with you on how to use it with students.